Hi, I'm Terri Murphy with Realty Times, executive editor for Realty Times Women in Business and Women in Real Estate. I have the most special guest for us today. Vicki's a longtime friend. I met her many years ago at a Danielle Kennedy conference, and here she was, glorious with curls, absolutely adorable, the complete opposite of me, and I fell in love with her right away. There she is, the author of Beyond Visualization, How to Write a Movie in 21 Days, which was featured, if I recall, on The Sopranos, if I'm correct.
Which is now being streamed.
Hello. And, Vicki has quite a background. She's a highly regarded counsel to many luminaries in the entertainment business. I mean, you had some fascinating background way back in the day of Laugh In and what else did you write for? Heart to Heart, Three's Company, all those fabulous shows. So, I mean, you really were out there. You're the best-selling author in the industry. It's a standard book now, and that's this one, How to Write a Movie in 21 Days. I understand you had some influence on Mr. Singleton, who wrote Boys in the Hood.
Oh, he was in my class and, at USC. He did that as his thesis.
Did he really?
Yeah. So everybody should do so well on their thesis.
Well, because they had you as a teacher.
Oh,
You're definitely known for your wit. I mean, obviously being a writer, especially in comedy, which is tough. Wisdom, unsurpassed inspiration through lecturing, creative, and by the way, all over the world. You haven't just been a speaker and a consultant here. Vic, you've always had the uncanny ability to identify the emotional issue that we struggle with, and you kind of readdress it in a way that gives amazing relief. You say she gets you from in your way to on your way. Would that be accurate?
Yep, that's what I do. And now, can you imagine? I mean, now this is life in the time of pandemic.
Oh my God.
To everybody.
So right now, predominantly your insight and compassion is really treasured by so many clients because they can't get relief. This is a time of unprecedented stress. You're an in-demand consultant, and not only to Hollywood's elite, but to people from all CEOs, world leaders, royalty. I mean, you've done amazing things. And I want you to spell your name because Vicki can be spelled a number of ways. So if they wanted more information about you, where could they find it?
It's VickiKing.com, VIKIKING.
Good to know. So Vicki, I invited you today to be for our Women in Business Day because I have a couple of questions for you. We are in a time of, I mean, this is just like never been in our reality. Not just me, not just somebody having a tough time, not just a county or a town, the whole globe. It's been a huge equalizer. Everybody is being impacted by this. So what are we supposed to do?
Well, here's the edict. Go home, take off your shoes, have pajama days, get takeout. I mean, this is everybody's prayer that when they're rushing around all over the place. So rather than think of it as a detriment, think of it as a reset, because the whole wide world now gets a chance to ask yourself some deep questions and go within. Not only within at home, but that's the metaphor of everybody really, really starting to tap. What is it that you want? How do you want to create the world? When we come out of this, what world do we want to come out of it to? And that's all of our job. That's all that we all get to make these decisions now for ourselves.
No, but I might have a totally different world than someone else.
Right.
So what happens when you have 12 million billion people all creating a different world?
You're creating a world of higher vibration. In other words, nobody likes to feel icky and scared and have anxiety and all that. So then choose the next higher level of vibration. And when you do, and somebody across the world does, then the world that we are all collectively creating comes up, up, up higher. Now, the truth is, we all know that within the last several years or more, like maybe it's even the last decade, things are not all that whoopee-doo. There's a lot of stress, and it's a scientific term, whoopee-doo.
I think it's a Chicago term. I do.
You think so? Well, since we're both from Chicago.
Yes.
But whoopee-doo worldwide is this is the opportunity to look at all the, we've been turning over rocks and seeing, little creepy crawlers in every system of the world. And this has been going on. And so now, then this beautiful virus happens. So then we can all say, okay, let's look at all the systems that are falling down and let's recreate them. Because chaos naturally comes to order. And order naturally breaks down to chaos. That's the nature of how things grow and develop. And so as you can reflect on things that have not been happening that you didn't, that you don't like a lot, in the last years. And here it is. Here is the opportunity to be able to now recreate. And what this is actually a bait and switch deal going on here with the virus. The bait and switch is that we think it's about a virus. But really what it is, it's about the whole wide world getting an opportunity to reset and recreate the world we want to be in. It's the Great Awakening. And this is something we've all been preparing for. And this is something that we now all get to utilize and step up. The big picture is a jigsaw puzzle piece with all the pieces. If you don't come up with your piece of the puzzle, there's a big hole in the big picture. So this is the opportunity now for everybody to step up and do that very thing that they've been wanting to do their whole life. Now,
to me, it was unprecedented that the whole world shut down. And what's really been interesting is because we've been fighting technology and not being connected, and now everybody is violating curfews and whatever so they can be connected, because maybe they're realizing the power of the exchange of real energy, not just technologically done. And I'm not saying that face-to-face is the only way to communicate, but how amazing for us to be forced to focus on so hyper-local, our families, our local. I mean, we have to stay local. We can't travel. We can't do the kinds of things that we've always done. So that's pretty interesting. And so what are ways that people can cope with this besides being in their pajamas? Which is,
what do you mean besides? Don't minimize the value of pajama days. Fabulous, just stay in there and be, get an opportunity to be in your own pixie dust, in the own house. Now, if you've got 4 kids and you'd like to strangle them, this is an opportunity to rethink how your family is together. Like, for instance, my sister-in-law and her son have the birthday on the same day. So we had a national birthday on Zoom. It was wonderful because the techie stuff was just terrible. So we ended up, like some was on Facebook and some was on, and then when, the audio was on the phone and the video, was hilarious. But we never did that before. So, thank you, pandemic.
Yeah, well, again, there's always, clearly the pandemic is serious, but I always say that it takes extreme contrast for you to look another way and see something that's always been there. And in a time that we've gotten so global, look at how incredibly swift the jumping of continents of this thing went. It went literally viral so fast.
And it will disappear just as fast. It will be gone and nobody will be able to know. No scientist will be say, well, I don't know why that was here and why that left. But okay, here we go. We're on from here. One of the things that everybody will be noticing is that the first thing that will come up for everybody, and it has already come up because we're into this now for a couple of weeks, whatever. Because we should say the date so that because this will change as we go along.
Yeah, well, this is the beginning of April, so yeah, you're right.
So beginning of April. So what has already happened for everyone is that they came to where they are triggered in their fear. Like, I'll give you an example. I was sitting in the Marina Club at my harbor, and the lady who is the proprietor of the Marina Club came in and she said, "Oh, we have to shut down." And so then she said, oh my gosh, I don't want any hooligans coming in here and stealing the lamps. So now here's a whole, virus and people are dying, but she's worried about the lamps. So now let's break that down. What it is she's identified with being the protector of the Marina Club. And so then that identification is threatened. She has to shut down. She can't protect it. Hence hooligans, hence lamps, you see. So it doesn't make any sense to anybody else, but she's following her identity. And for all of us, we get to look at our identifying factors and release them. Because she's also a mother and, whatever else she is, wife. Maybe she likes to, make bells out of quilting, whatever the thing is. So then she gets to be able to see what other identifications she has that are affirming to her and something that maybe might be more interesting and more positive for her future.
So, so people can generally feel powerless,
right,
or they can take back their power, is what I'm hearing from you.
Right. And excuse me, the powerlessness is all that you have been feeling up until this time. It could have been your whole life or the last 10 years or the last, week and a half. And when people look in a way that they feel threatened, that their freedom is in some way, shape, or form not in their control, then they will revert and go to control. Like, for instance, the toilet paper, bonanza.
Wow.
And what that is that's anal retentiveness, where people feel out of control. So they want to control it. So they went right away to toilet paper. It's an action to take. Yeah. And many people, there's a difference between motion and emotion. So what happens is people go take actions when they feel powerless. Oh, I got to do something. So then they do something that doesn't make any real sense, right, but it makes them feel better because they've taken motion. They've done an action.
Good distinction. I never thought about that. So there's good news in this. What's all the good news?
Oh, the good news is that this is the Great Awakening. And everybody on the planet has come here to Earth at this time, and especially since we're all talking now, listen up, everybody. This is what you came to Earth to do. You came here with all of your talents and all of your expertise and all of the frustration about maybe it's not seen yet, maybe you're not real clear about what your purpose is. Now is the time to culminate all of that and deliver on it and contribute that which you came to contribute. And what's going to happen from that is it's a smooth sail. Nothing is going to be in your way like it was for the last 20 years or however long it would be. Now you'll see that you'll start building things up and whoop, it goes. It's like I'm finishing my book, and I looked and I thought, oh, I already did that chapter. And there's another one. That's already done. That's done. And so things are not in the way. And the only thing that can get in the way is yourself, which we love to do that. We're very good at
being in our own way. And that's unfortunate because what I've learned in the studies from engagement working with you for years is that we have this, pantry of experiences and how we view the world. And so consequently, we don't see how someone else views the world, which could be way more accurate or way more interesting or way more rewarding because we've been over here. So I think that you say there's an opportunity in here to be conscious. What did you mean by that?
Well, that's what we're here doing. All those who are asleep will awaken to their full capacities, to their full light. There's a lot of lights under a bushel. Yeah. We've all done that to ourselves. We've dumbed our light down. No, can't do that anymore. Now everybody has to shine. And it's interesting because people are pulled to what seems like sequestering. It's like you don't have the 10,000 people that are in the elevator and on the subway and all over the place banging against your vibration. You've got maybe 3 or 4 people in the household. And so then this gives you an opportunity to be more intimate with yourself and then understand how you're now going to be in relationship to others. And, that's what's really powerful. Now, in love, what happens is, if you'll notice, especially lately in our country, we have major polarity and hatreds, and all kinds of systems are in jeopardy. The financial system, political, environmental, all these things have imbalances to them. And so then the ultimate imbalance is, okay, pull everybody, put them home. And so then you start from within. And if you can take that imbalance and balance it in yourself, then that goes out like a rock, in the pond, the ripples will go out. And it gives everybody a chance to be able to be really good at that, because it's hard to do that, if you're in a building with,
Well, and you're in the whirlwind. I mean, you're just trying to survive every day. I mean, there's the everyday life to life things, but you make a really good point. I often like to point out that all actions have a reaction, and we're so sure that our truth is the only truth that we judge from that. And you could be very wrong on so many things. And so maybe taking time where you're not in the whirlwind of, making the donuts and doing all the stuff you have to do. Maybe that's the gift of this moment, of this time. I mean, and I keep waking up going, oh, that's right. I mean, because you're so used to year after year after year of doing, right? And now you just have to be. So it's a kind of a different thing. So I'm clearly hearing a lot of positives in there. So people are like, oh, are we doomed? And what do you say to that?
You want to be?
Well,
Because do you want to be? And so then you look at in what way you want to think of this, and you get to make a choice of, do you want to, it's like you're vibrating. So you want to go down there, or you want to go up a little bit, and then try a little more and a little more as you go. And that would be the choice. This time is for everyone to not judge anyone else. And here's another one that's vitally important in that particular little crux of the thing around relationship to people is, you are not responsible for carrying anybody else on your back to take them through something for their life. They are responsible for that. Now, if you're a parent, of course, you have care with your children, but their choices intrinsically and deeply on the soul level are all things that are personal to everyone, and they get the opportunity to be able to do that. This is a time to absolutely unequivocally not judge. And everyone is whatever they're doing, love them where they are, because people are all over the place,
Exactly. And that's always been something you and I've discussed many times. I've never been, as much as I can empathize and sympathize and be as close to you as possible, I cannot feel how you feel, because only you can feel how you feel. And so you're basing so many of your experiences based on your previous experiences, how you see things, and your judgments, your core values. I think Tyson, what's his name? The physicist, the astrophysicist, Neil Tyson.
Oh yeah, Neil deGrasse.
deGrasse, yeah, he said, you may not be right. And he said, and no one, you have to really figure out what's right from what everybody's saying, because everybody has a different way to look at it. And one way may be totally better or different from, or awakening or revealing than you. So judgment to me has always been interesting. Why I would want to know, I think the gift of our life is the fabric that everybody comes with. I mean, everybody has this magnificent walk they walk, and you didn't walk it, but you get the benefit by just interacting with them.
Yeah.
And so I think you brought up a really good point about this is a time for that we are so severely inner focused that we can't worry about what somebody else is doing or how they're doing it or how they're, so that's a very good
You
point.
need to be inner focused because that's what it was arranged. It was set up. It's a brilliant, genius thing that is a phenomena, a worldwide phenomena.
It totally is. So
That's an amazing gift we've never, ever, ever had on planet Earth before. And here it is for us.
and
And
we happen to be in that time.
It's unity. That's what it is. Because people think there is no union, there's no unity to everybody. But the truth is, it is completely a unity. And the unity is that you think one thing, somebody else thinks another thing. And that's a fantastic thing because together, all of that, as you're saying about the cloth, it creates the tapestry.
And I've always believed in all of us are smarter than one of us. All of us bring something to the table, using the puzzle analogy. So you have counseled royalty, Hollywood royalty, people that if we said their names, they would know who you were talking about. And you have a specificity. You have had an amazing life, amazing life. What is your secret to life?
Here's my secret. Very simple. Ready? Are you listening?
I'm going to write it down.
Life works. Life works. So the problem is we don't let it work. We're always in there trying to, mechanize. And this is a different thing. Many people are in manifestation. They're going to manifest. They're going to, do this thing. They're going to push it into the world. Nah, just let it. Let it. And be in creation instead of manifestation. And creation is that you decide, like, I am this. I'm not becoming, I am. And then be that, feel that, do what that is. I was in the wildfire last year and it was astonishing. You could see
you lost your entire home. You lost everything except your Buddha.
I didn't lose anything because here I am, and it's a beautiful thing. It's like nothing else. I don't know. It's just all, I'm so grateful actually too, because now I'm in a position that it's all gone. So do I have to worry about, that something's going to go?
Exactly. Well, so there's so much of we could get from you, and I'm hoping you'll join us another time. The unity thing to me is really important because being a student of engagement, how people connect, how they communicate to connect, to engage, which is a process, to me is the most divine thing, because that's why everybody's sneaking out to see their friends and sitting 8 feet or 9 feet apart from their friends, because they desperately want that connection. That is a basic human need. I would say that unity is more important than ever, and it isn't restricted to color or size or ethnicity or gender or anything. It's unity of life, which generally comes with love, not fear.
Yeah. So this is interesting because if you notice, you always want to see slogans that start up, and the slogan for this particular event is "We're all in this together." If you'll notice, that's just coming at us all the time. We're all in this together. That's it. That's the point. It's like, oh, you mean we are united? I didn't know that, because everybody felt, such divisiveness, with others and such. And so you just have to step into that and realize that it's already here. You don't have to create it. We are united and we all have our piece of the puzzle. So now the deal is that once you are in agreement with yourself to step forward and shine your particular light, then that satisfies you so that you don't feel like you have to tell somebody else how to shine their light or do something, that you want to disagree with them or be in judgment with them. Because if you're busy shining your light, that's a full-time job. And
well, not only that, but you can't shine someone else's light. It's already taken.
No, it's already taken, and they get to do theirs. And when you shine yours, everybody else is right around you because you're not fighting for their job. So there's another thing that happened in the zeitgeist too that was so precious. You want to watch these metaphors that come up. And I think it was a couple of weeks ago by now, but the military came together to put hospital beds in the Jarvis Convention Center in New York. And so the commander of that, he said, I just love this. They were under a great deal of pressure to get this done. And he said, do it and have it be good enough. Don't try to go over that and be, like be perfect, or try to, get it done, good enough. And this is such an incredible metaphor, because people fundamentally feel they're not enough. They're not
universally, specifically.
Universally. So now they've been given the command, it's good enough. You're good enough. We are all good enough. So it's a beautiful metaphor that happened. Oh, another wonderful metaphor was, did you know that the chimpanzee, I think it was chimpanzees, in the zoo in New York, the keepers were washing their hands all the time. So the chimpanzees started to wash their hands. And they gave a bucket.
So now think about that. If
the monkey.
Well, no, but I mean, energy is energy. And if people would just understand they're really energy. And that energy travels all over. So if you're spouting fear, then that's the energy that's going out. If you're if it's self-worth, then everybody else gets to feel like that. So imagine that if the monkeys in the zoo pick up that energy, because clearly we don't know if they understand English or Spanish or whatever, that we are all connected. And I think that's what you talk about in all of your books, is that we're all connected, and that's how we connect. And you also have another set of books called Split Second Stories. And tell us a little bit about them. Where are they available?
You can go on Amazon, Vicki King.
VIKI King.
Mm-hmm.
Vicki, I know that you're in-demand consultant, in demand for so many things. And I want to thank you so much for joining us today on Women in Business, Women in Real Estate on Realty Times. I'm hoping you'll join us again.
Yeah, sure.
For another segment.
We're all home. Not going anyplace.
Joining us. We really appreciate you, Vicki. And please go to Amazon. Look at some of the books that Vicki's put together. She's an enormous repository of information that'll help you live your best life. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.